this deep dive is really for you. If you're the person whose life feels, well, less like something you control and more like a constant stream of obligations for other people.
Mhm.
If you're feeling just perpetually busy, always tired, and maybe your body feels like it's reacting to some kind of invisible stress, we want to offer a shortcut today to understanding why.
And today we're digging into the really insightful work of Nzula. You might know her as the Queen of Wellness. We're specifically zeroing in on her piece, When the Soul Catches a Cold, Self-Kindness and Wellness. And Nzula, she really challenges us to stop treating busyness like it's something to be proud of.
Right, like a badge of honor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She makes us think about the physical cost we pay when we wear that overcommitment.
So our mission here is to unpack her metaphor, this idea of the soul catching a cold, and figure out the practical steps Nzula actually recommends for healing it.
And to ground this, Nzula gives us a perfect example. Maya. Maya was, the ultimate go-to person, that super reliable friend, daughter, colleague.
The one everyone counts on.
Totally. As Nzula puts it, Maya's calendar wasn't really for her own organization. It was more like a mosaic of other people's needs.
Yeah.
Literally.
Wow.
She was just constantly putting everyone else first, thinking her worth was tied up in how much she could do for others. And Nzula argues this constant looking outward, it's the root cause of the soul eventually getting sick.
Okay, so let's get into that moment where Maya's chronic stress really tipped over into physical problems. And Nzula isn't just talking about being a bit tired here.
No, not at all.
She calls it the body's silent protest. And this included a really persistent, heavy, almost gray blanket of fatigue.
Yeah.
No, the kind sleep or coffee just doesn't fix.
Right, and then came the physical symptoms, things that felt real, but maybe hard to pin down.
Yeah, what were those specifically, according to Nzula?
We're talking recurring dull headaches, these kind of mysterious stomach aches, and skin that was just always irritated, always sensitive. Nzula points out these are really classic signs of the body trying and struggling to handle that low-grade constant stress. It's like a smoke detector going off repeatedly.
And the mind just keeps hitting snooze.
Exactly.
And this leads to that really common and, frankly, frustrating situation Nzula highlights. Maya goes to the doctor, right? Seeking answers, maybe some validation for how she feels.
Yeah, she did the rounds.
Only to be told, well, we can't find anything clinically wrong. You just need to relax.
Ugh, that phrase.
Yeah.
Just relax. It feels like such a dismissal when you're absolutely running on fumes.
Right.
And what Nzula really analyzed there is this critical disconnect. See, when we're always in that over-functioning state, our nervous system, the fight-or-flight part, it's just constantly switched on. High alert.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. It's sometimes called living under a huge allostatic load in wellness circles. The body's just carrying too much stress for too long.
So the body is literally keeping score, even if the blood tests look normal.
That's precisely Nzula observation. The body remembers every single time the mind pushed past a need for rest, ignored that little plea. And that constant internal alarm, never really switching off, it triggers inflammation, it can mess with your immune system, leading to those vague symptoms like the upset stomach or the tension headaches. The body's protesting because it's been stuck in survival mode.
That's a powerful way to put it. And Nzula shares Maya's aha moment. It came when she just saw her reflection in a cafe window.
Yeah.
And she saw this emptiness there. And realized, like a shock, she hadn't truly asked herself, what you need, Maya, in years.
And that realization, that's the real turning point in Nzula's analysis. She argues pretty convincingly, I think, that the soul had been trying to get her attention for years.
Whispering.
Exactly, little whisper, small pleas for a break, for some space, maybe just some kindness. But because Maya was so tuned into everyone else's demands, those whispers just got ignored, lost in the noise.
And the core idea from Nzula is when those emotional whispers go unheard for long enough.
The soul has to shout.
Yeah, and it uses the only language it has left the physical body.
Precisely. Nzula is very direct about this. She says those physical symptoms, the fatigue, the headaches, they are the soul's fever. They're the undeniable biological proof that the soul has caught a cold.
It's not just a metaphor then.
No, she sees it as the direct translation of chronic emotional neglect into what doctors might call, a functional illness, something real, but without a clear test result, cause.
Let's talk to the listener for a second. If you're hearing this and thinking, that's me, I have those chronic headaches, the digestive issues, the instinct might be to reach for a pill or try another diet.
Sure, that's common.
But how does Nzula Mercy argue that self-kindness is actually a better long-term approach than just treating the symptoms?
Well, Nzula Mercy's point is that treating the symptom is like treating the fever, but ignoring the infection that's causing it. The real infection, in her view, is the pattern of self-neglect. So yes, you can take something for a tension headache. But if the root cause, maybe that elevated cortisol from constantly ignoring your own boundaries, is still there.
The headache just comes back tomorrow.
Exactly. So the healing, according to Nzula Mercy, has to start at the source. And that means making a simple but pretty radical shift back towards self-kindness.
Now, I can imagine some people hearing self-kindness and thinking it sounds a bit soft, maybe too simple for years of burnout. Does Nzula Mercy address that?
Oh, absolutely. She gets that this shift can feel, frankly, terrifying, especially for high achievers or people used to constantly producing.
Right.
But she's clear. Self-kindness isn't about passive relaxation, like just taking a bath, though that can be part of it.
Yeah.
It's an active, radical practice. It involves setting boundaries, making internal commitments. It's the necessary antidote, she argues, to that ingrained belief that your worth depends solely on your output.
Okay, so it's radical, but Nzula Mercy is wise about it. She starts Maya off with really small steps, right? Microactions.
Yes, and she frames it beautifully, I think, as tending to a neglected garden.
I like that. It implies it takes time, care.
Exactly. And that it might feel awkward at first. The challenge is making something that feels foreign start to feel familiar.
So what were some of those first small acts in Nzula Mercy outlines for Maya?
Well, there were 3 key ones she highlights. First, saying no to a request without launching into a long defensive excuse.
Ooh, that's a big one for many people.
Huge, because it validates your own time and energy without needing someone else's permission or understanding. Just, no, I can't do that right now.
Okay, what else?
Then small acts of pleasure, like finally buying that slightly more expensive tea she always wanted but talked herself out of. Just acknowledging that simple wants actually matter.
Honoring the small things.
Yes.
Right.
And the third one, which Nzula Mercy says was toughest for Maya, was sitting for just 10 minutes a day and doing absolutely nothing productive.
Nothing. No phone, no mental lists.
Nothing. Just sitting. Which is really an act of demanding space just for yourself, reclaiming time from the productivity machine.
These small acts seem focused on changing external behavior, like resetting boundaries with others. But Nzula Mercy also stresses that real healing needs something internal too, right? A tangible act of care for the self.
That's a really crucial connection she makes. You're right. Setting the external boundaries, like saying no, that helps stop the bleeding, so to speak. It stops the outflow of energy.
Okay.
But the internal healing, that requires active nourishment. And Nzula Mercy teaches that you need something concrete, a physical ritual that acts as a daily promise to your body that things are different now, that you're caring for it.
And this brings us to a specific method Nzula Mercy recommends to sort of anchor this new commitment.
It does. She realized that just thinking I'll be kind to myself often isn't enough. It needs to be physicalized.
Right, something you do.
Exactly. So she suggests an intentional morning ritual for her clients and specifically incorporates taking a dose of Forever Aloe Vera Gel.
Okay, so this really moves the idea of self-kindness from something abstract in your head to something physical you ingest. How does Nzula Mercy frame the role of this ritual?
The key word is intention. Nzula Mercy is really clear. This isn't positioned as some kind of magic potion or a quick fix.
Got it.
It's about the act itself being a physical commitment. By starting the day, deliberately putting something nourishing inside your body, the ritual becomes this powerful, tangible promise to yourself. It's saying, I am actively caring for you, starting from the inside out.
So the ritual itself is a daily marker, a moment of saying, I'm choosing me.
Precisely. Nzula Mercy describes the act of consuming something pure and soothing, like this gel, as a kind of daily internal reset.
Resetting what exactly?
It's not just about nutrients, though that's relevant too. It's about symbolically, and maybe even physically, washing away the mental residue of self-neglect that's built up over years. You're signaling. The period of neglect is over. Today is different.
And Nzula Mercy is quite specific about the quality here, isn't she? She mentions Forever Aloe Vera Gel being 99.7% pure interleaf aloe. Why is that detail important in her framework?
She emphasizes the purity because the ritual needs to feel genuinely honoring to the body. There's no compromise.
Okay.
For Nzula Mercy, This internal act becomes a foundational cornerstone of self-kindness. It connects the new emotional commitment, I will be kind to myself, to a physical action that directly supports areas often hit hard by chronic stress, like digestive health and nutrient absorption.
Ah, so it's actively working against the physical problems mentioned earlier.
Exactly. The external boundary setting creates the space, and this internal ritual begins the active repair work.
Okay, so let's circle back to Maya then. We know she started addressing the root cause, that emotionally neglected soul, using both the external boundaries and this daily internal ritual recommended by Nzula Mercy. What happened? How did her body respond?
Well, the results, as Nzula Mercy documents them, really supported her whole thesis. It was quite remarkable.
Yeah.
Once Maya stopped, essentially poisoning her system with overcommitment, and started nourishing it with kindness and this consistent internal care, the physical symptoms began to shift.
The fevers start to break.
You could say that. The whispers of relief started. Those constant headaches, they began to recede dramatically. Her stomach, which is always giving her trouble, finally settled down.
So the functional illness, as you called it, started to heal because the functional neglect stopped.
That's exactly how Nzula Mercy presents it. The physical fever subsided because the underlying cause was addressed, and that heavy fatigue, that gray blanket,
Did that lift too?
started to lift.
Yeah.
Because her system wasn't constantly in the state of high alert, that allostatic overload fighting itself anymore.
Wow.
And this really leads us to the bottom line. The universal lesson Nzula Mercy wants everyone to take away from Maya's story.
Which is?
You absolutely cannot pour from an empty cup. We hear that a lot. But maybe more importantly, you have to stop punishing yourself for having needs in the first place.
That's powerful. So the profound cleanse Nzula Mercy talks about, it's not some extreme diet or detox.
No, not at all. It's about what you finally allow yourself to receive. A little bit of peace, some breathing room, and yes, a whole lot of practical kindness directed towards yourself.
Okay, so if we were to distill the essential takeaway from Nzula Mercy's work today.
I think it's this. Your body is incredibly eloquent. It communicates. If it's persistently asking for care through symptoms, it's very likely showing you the deep emotional care your soul has been missing. You need to listen to those physical signs that are delivering a crucial message about an unmet need.
So thinking about the listener now, if the body truly keeps score, as Nzula Mercy insists it does, what subtle whispers or maybe even obvious shouts might your body be using right now? Is it that constant digestive unease, that lack of real energy? What's the one small no you could say this week? Or maybe the one small internal treat, like that morning ritual that you could offer yourself? Could that be the start of your own healing, your own practice of self-kindness, really starting that care from the inside out? It's a powerful question to sit with.
Well, you've just finished a deep dive into the profound connection between self-neglect and our physical health, all guided by the vital insights of Nzula Mercy, the Queen of Wellness. We really hope this analysis gives you some fuel to perhaps start your own internal reset.